Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, the 15th of July, and well, tomorrow is Prime Day. Uh, I have been looking at news since lunchtime, and y'all trying to find some good news. On some days, it's not as easy. So, you know, Prime Day is tomorrow. Thank you, Wolfram. And actually, I'm so used to saying thank you, Wolfram. Thank you, Squid Pro Quo, for all of the mod things. Christine, I hope you are having a wonderful evening. Good evening, Mom of 10, and Terry D. And Flash Fan, I am doing okay. I hope you are doing well. Good evening, Brenda. So, we do have a bunch of stories. Some pick up from some things we've talked about before or cases that we have discussed before, but we do have a couple of updates about Richard Simmons. Good evening, Okie Mima. So, I feel like Richard Simmons kind of got lost in the shuffle between everything that happened. And you know what? Can I tell you that for like an awkward, um, okay, just full on chubby 13-year-old, I will say that Richard Simmons, he he definitely was himself. And you know what? I swear to goodness, one day I endeavor to be that comfortable in my own skin that I wear booty shorts and bedazzled everything. Not sure about the hair, but that is my goal, to live life like Richard Simmons, because you know what? He was authentically himself. I will say that. And that's not an easy thing to be when you are, well, Richard Simmons. I mean, to be honest. Richard Simmons reportedly refused medical help after falling the night before he was found dead in his home. Law enforcement sources told TMZ Monday that Simmons had fallen in his bathroom Friday night, which happened to be his 76th birthday, before his housekeeper helped him up and tried to get him medical attention immediately. Um, if you fall, there is no shame in getting your noggin checked out, just making sure. I mean, look, I hate the hospital. I do not like it. They do not let me go home when they admit me, usually because 'cause I'm having a kid, but, I mean, honestly, if you fall, just for the people around you, go to the hospital, just get checked out if you have the resources and can do that. I'm not I'm not a doctorologist, so I don't know that, going to the doctor would have helped him, but I can only imagine how much his housekeeper is probably beating herself up because, he didn't wanna go to the hospital. Um, Now he did decline, going to the hospital because he wanted to stay home on his birthday. And I will say, I mean, who else in this world will be able to rock a bedazzled butterfly tank top like this man? Or this fashion forward shirt? I mean, we've lost a gem, y'all. According to TMZ, he told his housekeeper that he would maybe see a doctor on Saturday before she helped him back to bed. The outlet reported that Simmons had described feeling dizzy before the fall. And absolutely, squid pro quo, better to get checked out and be cleared than have a head injury that goes undiagnosed from the occupational therapy side of Squid's brain. Squid's brain on occupational therapy is good, so I will demur to her definitely. Listen to Squid, do not listen to me. Uh, Now, around 10 a.m. Saturday morning, the housekeeper reportedly found him unresponsive on the floor next to his bed. Another source told TMZ that Simmons showed no obvious external signs of injury. So nothing that, he could have got an embolism or something. And it's just sad because, like I said, there are a lot of different kinds of bravery in this world in my book. And, having the courage and bravery to just be loudly, obnoxiously, authentically yourself and trying to help people by doing that, by being just yourself. Um, Richard Simmons, I was there sweating to the oldies as an overweight, middle schooler, and, he never made me feel bad, well, mostly because he couldn't see me do this, one of these, but, he was just positive, and, I will say that having someone who is maybe a little bit different, you know, just sitting there and doing these ridiculous moves with you is is always, really good. Audio coffee, I'm stilling this as someone with terminal clumsy bastarditis. Um, Absolutely, please go to the hospital if you suffer terminal, fights with gravity as I do. The weight loss promoter had said, in a recent rare interview published one day before his death, "I feel good and I'm grateful I'm here. I'm alive for another day," Simmons told People in a story released Friday. "I'll spend my birthday doing what I do every day, which is to help people." The health conscious vegetarian said he would blow a candle, but it would probably be on a zucchini. "I'm making no jokes, Mr. Simmons. I hope you appreciate this, but I won't even take a softball joke from that one, okay? That's your one pass though, sir." Um, he added he might be naughty and indulge in just one Pepperidge Farm Milano cookie. How many times have we all said that, you know, uh, Mr. Simmons? "I'm only gonna eat one cookie," and then you wake up and the bag you turned into a werewolf sometime in the middle of the night, and that bag is just, torn up, and you're like, "How do I got mud on my feet, and where are the rest of the Milano cookies?" But I understand how he feels, and, we lost a genuinely good human being, honestly, with him. You never saw him do anything really, really strange, and he always had a soft spot for people that maybe, the rest of the world had given up on, so we lost a good one. In other sad news, James skiing, star of Hill Street Blues, Doogie Howser, MD, passed away as well, 90 years old. James Ski King, who starred as a hardened police lieutenant on Hill Street Blues and the titular character's kind-hearted dad on Doogie Howser, MD, has passed away at 90 years old. James died of complications from dementia, his publicist, Cynthia Snyder, said in a statement Sunday evening. Born the youngest of five children on March 5th, 1934, in Los Angeles, his early acting ventures include an uncredited part in Roger Corman's Five Guns West and a bit role in episodes of Perry Mason. He also secured guest spots on a litany of popular 1970s television series from Mission Impossible, MASH, The FBI, The Rockford Files, Hawaii Five-O, Charlie's Angels, Eight is Enough, and Little House on the Prairie. What the heck episode of Little House on the Prairie was he in? I have no idea. Hill Street Blues would debut in 1981, a fresh take on a traditional police procedural. James played Lieutenant Howard Hunter, a clean-cut Vietnam veteran who headed the emergency action team of the Metropolitan Police Department in a never-named city. I'm going with Detroit, though. Hello, Dolly Talk. Hope you're having a good Monday. The acclaimed show was a drama, but James's character's uptight nature and quirks were often used to comic effect. James based his performance on a drill instructor he had at basic training when military service cut through his time at the University of California, Los Angeles, from which he graduated in 1959. The drill instructor looked like he had steel for hair. His uniform had so much starch in it, you knew it would sit in the corner when he took it off. He told the Fresno Bee in 2014 when he did a series of interviews with various publications marking the box set's release. When it debuted on the hills of Hollywood's dual strike, the NBC show was met with low rating and little fanfare, but the struggling network kept it on air. Up popped this word demographic, James told the Star Tribune in or 2014, we were reaching people with a certain education and who made a certain kind of money. They called it the Esquire audience. The show ultimately ran until 1987, though for a brief moment it wasn't clear that James would make it that far. A 1983 episode ended with his character contemplating self-deletion. The cliffhanger drew comparisons to Who Shot Art or JR, which I mean, look, I realize that media has always been awful, but that entire arc should have gotten someone fired into the sun. I mean, you spend an entire season trying to figure out who shot, well, Patrick Duffy, and then it turns out it was a dream. Like, the fact that Dynasty, well, I know it wasn't Dynasty, it was Dallas, but the fact that soap operas are still a thing after they try to pull some shenanigans, because I think there were a lot of women with Virginia Slims and some bonbons watching that episode like, "The hell you say? Earlene, did you just see this on my television?" Anywho, I'm just saying, making it all a dream was a real, real terrible thing. So, I am glad that this gentleman, even though he dealt with, dementia and stuff, it seems like he passed away with his family and friends around him. He had 2 children and 4 grandchildren, and, he just went to be just a regular person, and I love actors who are just regular people. I think I have so much respect for Rick Moranis because when his wife passed away, he stepped away from Hollywood to raise his children. I miss him being in shows. Y'all, I would watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know, part 73,000. I really would. I love Rick Moranis that much just because of that kind of choice that he made. Well, that and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was pretty funny. I always did wanna shrink everyone and or build giant ants after that. It's just upsetting. Well, it doesn't matter how ritzy, your shindig place is, if, they don't wash their hands, well, you got a norovirus. A ritzy New York enclave was hit with a stomach bug after a gala barn dance. It was like a zombie apocalypse. Look, if that happens to you, just get some Lysol and pray, 'cause, look, you're just gonna need to move, I'm afraid. Welcome, Zach. I count both as people and other creatures. Good evening, Wicked Wookie. The ritzy upstate town of Millbrook kicked off summer on a sour note when a parasite wreaked havoc on opulent residents with a widespread stomach bug after a gala. Well, I've heard that steak tartare is really, really ritzy, but, you know, a burnt hamburger works just as well and you don't get trichinosis with it, but, far be it from me to tell the rich how to eat. Everyone was devastatingly sick. It was like a zombie apocalypse, a source familiar with the situation told Page 6 of the Ritzy Enclave. All activities, including 4th of July parties, have been sparse. Apparently, 200 of the estimated 400 event attendees have reported symptoms. Ugh, look, I'm saying this now, but y'all better look, rich people, I'm looking at you with my eyeballs and these fake glasses. You better give your maids and your plumbers a bonus after this. Otherwise, I would not just come back, I would move. The Centers for Disease Control Prevention identified cyclospora, the possible culprit, as an intestinal illness carried by a parasite. The CDC's recommendation for preventing infection is to avoid dirty water. Maybe make people wash their hands before they it is believed to have popped up in the, chic country town area on June 15th when hundreds attended the Duchess Land Conservatory's annual barn dance. Now, at a historic sheep barn in Thorndale Farm Estates. Well, I think I have might could have figured out the answer. Now, see, most people don't have barn galas in old goat barn facilities. I mean, this is just hill chuck knowledge, though. I don't know what fancy people do for their shindigs, but round here, we don't have them at the local barn. It took everyone down. Everyone's been calling it the DLC plague, another source dramatically told everyone. Though some people found a silver lining, who needs Ozempic when you have a parasite? People were so sick, they were losing 9, 10, 12 pounds. I mean, well, there you go. Don't worry. No, it was look, y'all, I am dedicated to not being fluffy by the end of the year, but I'm not getting a parasite. I will just simply cut carbs. A source further told people that people were going down like flies, causing other events around town to be sparsely attended, including an international polo challenge where a group of attendees showed up and left early because they were feeling so sick. They were too sick to go to polo. Well, my God. How did they even survive? We're told that many locals initially suspected they had come down with a norovirus. Norovirus would be those lovely things that your kids bring home, basically the entire school goes down, and you are just sitting there trying to contemplate if you're going to spray Lysol in front of the door as your children are coming in, or if you're just going to move, because the norovirus can't find you if you move. But there you go. Possibly don't have galas in barns. I mean, but there you go. Even the rich among us get the bubble guts. Silver lining, I guess. Um, in bigger news, and I'm sure that Nicholas Starro trial talk, I think, I'm sure that Nicholas has gone over this, but to preserve the public's confidence in the judicial system, the original judge has been kicked off the young thug RICO case after improperly defending himself against recusal. Well, I mean, let's be honest, this judge doesn't do anything properly. He plays by his own rules. The RICO prosecution against Jeffrey Young Thug Williams is in a temporary state of limbo after Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge Ural D. Gainville was kicked off the case. On Monday afternoon, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Rachel Krause decided two recusal motions in favor of the defense and found that preserving the public's confidence in the judicial system favors excusing Judge Gainville from further handling this case. The case itself will remain in effect and was quickly reassigned to Fulton County Superior Court Judge Shakura Ingram. The defense's victory in removing Gainville comes after a month of high drama stemming from the court's decision to hold a secret meeting with the state's star witness, Kenneth Little Woody Copeland, who recently took the stand only after he was held in contempt. Yeah, Jedi Jess, I don't see this. It's the same thing you would have with the Alec Baldwin and the same thing that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has. You, as the state, no longer have credibility. So I don't understand, again, how they are going to go forward with this case. I've watched bits and pieces, not as religiously as Nicholas, but thus far, I cannot figure what we are prosecuting these gentlemen with other than not particularly, you know, good acts, but I just it seems confusing, it seems muddled. I don't understand what the jury is supposed to be paying attention to. It makes no chronological sense. And if I were a jury member having to listen to this and none of it made sense at the end of the state's case, I would be really ticked off. On June 10th, during his second day on the stand, Copeland was generally a non starter of a witness, saying he couldn't remember his own criminal record or the ages of his children, protesting he had vision problems when asked to identify one of his co defendants, and complaining he was thirsty before turning down a glass of water. After the lunch break, the defense said they had a bigger problem with Copeland that eclipsed a mere lack of communication or I'm sorry, communication and cooperation. In open court, Williams' lead defense attorney, Brian Steele, complained that Copeland and his counsel met with the judge and multiple district attorneys outside the presence of defense counsel. Now, that is a big no no because that's not what we like to call fair, and generally our judicial system should at least pretend to be fair if they can't achieve it on a daily basis. Probably the same. They probably have the same, wheel of regrets that, the public defenders had for the Sarah Boone case. They're like, "Nope," and they just give whoever gets Sarah Boone, or used to get Sarah Boone a bottle of whiskey and say, "Godspeed, good luck." During this ex parte meeting, the witness was essentially forced to take the stand under threat of more jail time, according to Steele. Chief Deputy District Attorney Adrian Love and Gainville himself told the witness that a refusal to testify could keep him behind bars until the entire RICO indictment in the case was fully and finally dispensed with. Young Thug and 5 other co-defendants, Shannon S.B. Stillwell, Marquavius Qua Huey, Demonte Yakgatti, Kendrick, Quemarvius Qua. How are there 2 Quas? Okay, so one is Marquavius and one is Quemarvius Nichols and Little Rod Ryan. So there you go. So no more judge. I'm going to not attempt to say any more of these names because there's a Quintavious, possibly. Look, y'all, I'm not going to try. But all these guys are going to now, I guess, restart their case, continue forward, shenanigans be darned, and all on, display for when Fulton County makes another, judge deal with the shenanigans. I don't know. It is. It is. But I was looking at some of the names like, we're going to just not try this. In sad news, you guys know I'm not a sports ball person, but when anyone this young passes away, former NFL wide receiver Jacoby Jones, a standout with the Texans and Ravens, has passed away at the age of 40. He looks like one of the skinnier guys, so I'm guessing he was running with the ball, but that's about as far as I know about football. And a little bit from what I learned in Waterboy, but I don't think that that's accurate. So, former NFL wide receiver Jacoby Jones, a Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens, died overnight on Saturday in his Houston area home, according to multiple reports. Jones, who celebrated his birthday on July 11th, had just turned 40. Cause of death is not immediately clear. The NFL's Players Association released a statement Sunday afternoon on behalf of the Jones family, confirming that Jones passed away peacefully at his home in New Orleans, Louisiana. Jones was born and raised in New Orleans before attending Lane College in Tennessee. In a statement, the NFLPA expressed sadness for the loss of the late receiver and said that the Jones family, including his mother and his son, are together at this time. The owner of the Beaumont Renegades, an indoor football league that hired Jones on as its inaugural head coach in April, also confirmed the former receiver's death on Sunday. Sam Gordon called Jones the most humble and kind person to anyone in a phone interview with KPRC2 Houston on Sunday morning. Jones played in the NFL for 9 seasons, spending his first five with the Houston Texans before signing with the Ravens in 2012. Jones had a standout season in his first year in Baltimore, being named first team All Pro and heading to the Pro Bowl during the Ravens championship winning 2012 season. During the run up to to Baltimore's Super Bowl victory, Jones caught what is now known as the Mile High Miracle, a 70-yard touchdown from the quarterback Joe Flacco in the final minute of AFC divisional game against the Denver Broncos. Uh, I caught about 5 of them words. I was like, "I guess he caught the ball. Yay!" The touchdown forced the game into double overtime, where a game-winning touchdown sent the Ravens to the AFC Championship game. Jones then scored 2 touchdowns, including a 108-yard kick return during the Super Bowl to give the Baltimores a 31 win over the San Francisco 49ers. So, I'm really sad that passed away, and I really hope that his, wife or not wife, his mother and his son are able to take some time to, ah, see, why couldn't they just say that? But he seemed like he, was a genuine person from the people who knew him, and I hope they find the cause and maybe can give some people or give his family some answers, because I can only imagine not having an answers or any answers for why your, very healthy young son passed away is gotta be hell on earth. So hopefully they get some answers, and even if they don't share them with the general public, maybe that's something that, will give them some small bit of comfort. Uh, Guess who's getting his own show, but I don't know if we're gonna put, Roy in or Glenn. Whoever said he didn't care about him sleeping with his mother-in-law, I don't know if he's getting an absolute episode in this, but the Black Widower is getting his own Investigation Discovery 3-part docuseries. The Black Widower, The Six Wives of Thomas Randolph, appears on Monday, July 15th. So there's his final wife. I mean, you'd think if Mr. Mo came up to me and said, "Hey, we're dating. I just have a couple things to tell you. I've been married 5 times. Now, 2 of my wives are still alive, so really the odds are with you, force-wise. But, just thought you ought to know." I'd have said, "You know what? Thank you so much, Mr. Mo. I am going to pass on that second date. Thanks." Actually, I'd probably be like, "Well, most of my ex-boyfriends are still alive too. I think we have the odds together ever in our favor, sir. May the Hunger Games and marriage be with us." In May 2008, 57-year-old Sharon Kaus was fatally shot in what appeared to be a home invasion after returning from a date night with her husband, Thomas Randolph. Randolph told police in Las Vegas that he found her dead and then shot a masked intruder, claiming he acted in self-defense after the intruder had killed Sharon. Investigators later learned that the intruder was a handyman named Michael Miller, who Randolph hired to unalive Sharon, his sixth wife, in order to collect more than $300,000 in insurance money. Well, I mean, it was almost the perfect plan. But Sharon's murder was not the only death surrounding Randolph. As authorities dug further, they found out that Randolph was married 6 times, with only 2 of his former wives still alive. Several died under mysterious circumstances, leading to his sinister nickname, the Black Widower. Oh, he even pulled back his hair so he looked like a beautiful, handsome lesbian. Okay, honest to goodness, y'all, if I saw this picture, I'd be like, "Oh, they're sisters." 'Cause, I'd have just assumed sisters. "Hey, sir, you can't get to me, I'm already married, and, I don't want you." So, We're good. Randolph is now the subject of a three-part docuseries, The Black Widower, The Six Wives of Thomas Randolph, which, well, premieres tonight at 9 p.m. On Investigation Discovery. The series features police archival footage and interviews with prosecutors, as well as those who know Randolph and his wife, following him as he stands accused and is eventually convicted of double murders. In 1986, Randolph went on trial for allegedly unaliving his second wife, Becky Galt, in Utah, the Las Vegas Sun reported. Galt's death was eventually deemed a self-deletion by the coroner, and Randolph was acquitted. Her death provided roughly $500,000 of life insurance money for Randolph. Randolph was found guilty of first-degree unaliving and conspiracy to commit murder in 2017 in connection with the deaths of Krause and Miller. Oh my gosh, you guys, this man had a perm. What in the fluffy mullet my grandmother done stole my Tupperware hot dish having swap meet is this hairdo? I mean, this is well, Earlene took my good, Tupperware, and I swear if I don't get either a pack of Virginia Slims or some new takeaway Tupperwares, we're gonna have issues. There's gonna be some drama over in here. I mean, this is like Wisconsin. This is at least a Wisconsin 4, guys. Maybe a 7, depending on the beer consumption. I'm just saying, dude, you'd make a cool, well, you and Janet Reno have about the same femininity. Oh, I'm going straight to hell tonight. That's just how it is. However, the Supreme Court reversed his conviction after ruling that the jury should not have heard about Galt's death, deeming that the similarities that prosecutors had pointed out were prejudicial. Following a second jury trial in 2023, and if you would like to see this trial, I mean, Baker covered it. It has some of the funniest things. This is absolutely, I mean, we have found the people of Walmart and they are all testifying in this trial. I know. He saw Coming to America and it just didn't quite work out all that well on the bottom because he's got like a real high and tight perm up here and then he went ringlets back here. The 80s were a crazy time. What can I say? When asked what happened, Randolph opines, quote, "I'm addicted to love. I'm a true romantic," Randolph said of his 6 marriages in a preview for the upcoming docuseries. But that doesn't make me a killer. No, that haircut makes you criminally insane, but I mean, no, I guess the fact that they're no longer alive would make you, a killer. I mean, call me crazy. Uh, I guess we have to not, make fun of weathermen because they will go all postal on your behind, apparently. A popular weatherman, Steve Raleigh, faces calls to be fired after a road rage incident leaves an elderly couple injured. Oh, he has resting douche face. I mean, I could have told you this man would run someone over in like the 10 times or less aisle. Look, sir, don't come after me. You're already, put a hurting on some old people. Your PR can't handle you, tussling with a fluffy redhead. A popular Ohio weatherman is facing calls for his firing after his family was allegedly involved in a caught on camera road rage incident that left an elderly couple badly beaten with bruises, cuts, and concussions. Okay, look, if the old man had his daggone blinker on for 37 miles, he's old. You just deal with it. What is wrong with you? You don't have right to lay hands on anyone. I don't care how dumb they drive. WCPO chief meteorologist Steve Raleigh was allegedly filmed in a brawl on June 22nd after his son Carter failed to yield to traffic in a parking lot of a local restaurant, causing their Cadillac Escalade to plow into 79-year-old Douglas Nathaniel Morrow's Ford F-150. So what? I'm sure your son was probably like, "It's not even my fault. They were mean and old." So instead of handling this like an adult and showing your son how to handle things like an adult, you decided to show him how to handle things like a jackass. Well, how's that working out for you, soon to be unemployed man? The minor collision in Morrow's truck quickly turned violent after a large fight broke out, the Cincinnati Enquirer reported, citing 911 calls. Chaotic video of the brutal assault, which left Morrow, his 76-year-old wife and son badly beaten, was shared on Facebook by his daughter, Stacy Morrow Strickrod, who wrote, "These locally famous people, in my opinion, believe they are above the law." So this is Weatherman, Stormfront 5 head coming in. Sir, you have a 5 head. That is not even a 4 head. Look, I got one myself. You got a 5 head. And when you got a 5 head, you can't be a dick, okay? You already have somewhat resting douche face and self tanner on. I have much ammunition. Don't be a jackass, because I will come after you in my honey badger, sarcasm way. And if you laid hands on an old lady and made her bleed and made her go to the emergency room, then you better hope all that people want is your job, sir, because you're about to go into the clink. And don't nobody in Gen Pop like a granny herder, all right? It's just not going to happen. Life lessons with Mo. The more you know. Morrow Strickrod wrote in her July 10th post that her father had called the police after the minor accident because he suspected that the suspects had been drinking because of the smell of alcohol. This set off the people, causing my brother and both of my parents to be attacked, she said, noting her mother took the brunt of the injuries. She was knocked unconscious and had a concussion, a fractured skull, bleeding on the brain, confusion on her or contusion on the back of her head that was stapled shut, and the lens that was put in her eye detached and needs replaced. Sir, what in the actual heck was going on? Because this woman could still go critical. Brain injuries when you are that age are no joke. You have possibly cost this woman her sight. You have put her in the hospital, and I'm not even going to show the picture because it is, look, y'all, it's hard for me to look at. There are pictures, but it's pitiful. It is absolutely pitiful. And what could this woman have told you? She's all of like 73 pounds soaking wet. So I don't care if Meemaw got in your face. She's Meemaw. She's 76, and you don't touch Meemaw. And if you didn't teach your son not to take his anger out on old people, then you kind of screwed up as a dad too. Trashwater human being behavior. Her mother also had cuts and bruises covering her arms and legs, she wrote, adding that her father suffered a concussion and was knocked unconscious also in the vicious attack. Uh, Euclides, look, at Euclides, maybe, who intervened in the dispute and saved Maro Strickrod's mother, according to her Facebook post, also took to social media to clarify he did not know any of the individuals involved in the dispute. Unfortunately, I was a little too late and saw a horrible chain of events unfold. My intention after what I witnessed was to help the two individuals on the ground and to protect anyone else from being harmed, he wrote. I snapped a little after what I saw, and I used some colorful language in the video. Sir, as a fellow honey badger, when you saw injustice, you went in there and you tried to make it not crazy. And you stopping probably saved these people their lives, because so many people would not want to get involved, but you got in there and you said, "Hey, chill the hell out." And I would use a colorful language too if I saw Meemaw and Pop Pop on the floor, knocked out because some idiots weren't wanting to get arrested for drunk driving. The police have not verified the identity of anyone in the video, so it's allegedly. Though Raleigh's employer confirmed his family was involved in the alleged altercation. Quote, "We are aware of the incident involving Steve Raleigh's family," WCPO Vice President and General Manager Jeff Brogan wrote. "It is still under investigation, and at this time, no charges have been filed against anyone." Social media users, including attorney Eric Dieters, alleged that one of the men in the video appears to be Raleigh. Since the altercation, Raleigh has deleted all of his social media accounts. Posts on the television's Facebook page were flooded with comments from local viewers calling for Raleigh's firing, with one angered watcher writing, "The real scam is that WCPO with covering up the beatdown of an elderly couple at the boathouse." The incident does remain under investigation by the Cincinnati Police Department. Now, I will tell you that with some of the tightening of, well, I don't agree with hate crime laws because I don't think that anyone generally gets, beat up or unalived because you love them. But there have been plenty of laws put in place to specifically protect the elderly because as most generalized civilized people, we realize that the elderly are more vulnerable because they are not, spry young people. So what I will say is that my guess is charges are coming because it is election season. And if the prosecutor wants to get that, guaranteed, let's be honest and realize that elderly people do take their right to vote very seriously, and it's something we should all do, but generally, allegorically or anecdotally, not allegorically, you know, the prosecutor is going to want to show that they are doing something about violence, and if this doesn't get charges, I mean, look, WCPO, if after the investigation, it still shows that your meteorologist was a garbage trash parent that didn't teach his son to keep his hands off elderly, or if he was involved, you need to get him off the air or you won't have a channel. People do not deal with this well. So if you want to keep your channel, you might think about, quick, fast, and in a hurrying this, investigation because this is ugly. And if there is a case, we will cover it because this douche needs to be exposed. Although, yeah, ew. But we will do it. Now, you guys know that I'm trying to be a little bit more healthy and maybe look at different things. And this looks like a workout, a running that I could get into. So I'll maybe see if I can do this at my local pool. But a woman lost 80 pounds thanks to a novel fitness program that really changed her life. So this is her. Before she got to doing what she was doing. And she is water running. I will tell you guys that I used to be an aquatic therapist slash fitness instructor, and working out in water is probably one of the easiest thing that we can do for our body that gives us resistance. And you can do really difficult workouts. I mean, these are not grandma, you're not going to sweat. These are you can increase the resistance and the you know, forces on your body to really work on your cardio health and then your strength health with water. So if you're on the fence, if you're not sure, give it a whirl. Good evening, Tammy Bogart. I hope you're doing well. The tide has turned for Debbie Mitchell at 285 pounds. The Floridian was suffering from foot and knee pain, shortness of breath that made it difficult for her to walk across the street. I was retired. I wanted to walk. I wanted to go places. Mitchell, 68, who griped to Today last week. Fearing for her health, she scheduled a cardiac workup, and the doctor found that while Michelle's heart was in good shape, her weight contributed to her fatigue and limited mobility. An orthopedic surgeon recommended knee replacement to alleviate her pain, but to qualify, she would need to shed 10 pounds. I thought I can lose 10 pounds. I weighed 285, so I had a lot to lose, but I found no matter what I did, I would hit a plateau and then I would quit, the St. Petersburg resident recalled. A Facebook ad introducing her to Fluid Running, a guided deep water program that leverages water resistance to help users build strength and avoid injury. A competitive synchronized swimmer in her youth, Michelle thought that the workout program might be a good fit. She had a swimming pool in her backyard, which meant fewer excuses to avoid exercise at home. The fluid running program includes a flotation belt, waterproof headphones to tune to underwater or audio workouts. Michelle maintains, I just love it when I put on the headset and hear, "Hello, fluid runners," from Coach Jennifer. I'm just starting to, just when I'm starting to slow down, she'll say, "Okay, I know you're tired. Pick up your head, put your balance back up, and let's go." So, absolutely. And she looks like she is killing it with gasoline and fire. So, that's part of also what I'll be exploring on my other channel is different workouts. I am willing to try just about anything. Um, do pray for the future Zumba class that has to have my left, right, uncapable self in it, because I can just imagine the horror story I'm going to have to report the next day. But, you know, if you think that the pool would be a good place to work out, who gives a rat's patoot if you have to be in a swimsuit? Just go out there and get your workout in. You know, I have met the nicest people in gyms. My fear of going into a gym is more with myself than other people, but, definitely give yourself the freedom if you are looking to take smaller steps to increase your health. Maybe you don't have like a number in the scale, but you have something that you want to be able to achieve, not feeling as tired. You know, be open to different possibilities of working out. It doesn't have to be a chore. You can find something that works for you, and it might not be what works for everyone else. But if it's getting you up and moving, then that is all that matters. So that's my 2 cents on that, and she is just doing her thing, and I am loving her success and that she has found something that works for her. Uh, you know, he's a man of many talents, all of them strange. But someone was able to unicycle the length of Ireland in 5 days, 5 hours, and 23 minutes. For reasons I have no idea why, but he did, and it's a big giant unicycle. Okay, I'm willing to try many exercises, but gravity and myself are locked in a deadly battle every day, just me walking, so Mo will not be trying unicycling. There are some things where I'm like, "You know what? I'm not being paid by the show Jackass, and I'm pretty sure that if I film this, I'm going to be viral for wrong reasons." So, those are my 2 kind of exercise no-goes. But let's see why this man did this for whatever reason. An Irishman earned his second Guinness World Records title by riding his unicycle the length of Ireland, 308 miles in 5 days, 5 hours, and 23 minutes. Edmund Kennevy, or Ken, look, it's probably pronounced really, really Irish, and I'm just saying it really, really Midwest, but just imagine the most Irish name you've ever heard. And that's it. That isn't Liam. So it looks like Edmund and then uh Keanevi. Look, it looks like Keanu Reeves with another couple consonants in there. Look, y'all, I am trying to do this on low carbs. Bagels help me read. No, I'm just kidding. He did win it for the fastest crossing of Ireland by a unicycle, because it seemed like a perfect mix of daunting and ridiculous. I mean, sir, did we just become best friends? Because daunting and ridiculous is my life. I think it should be our new motto. Uh, Edmund, who previously earned the record for the world's longest barefoot journey in 2016 and followed it up by climbing 10 mountains barefoot in 10 days. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Who thinks of these things? Who thinks of these things, A, and then who's like, "You know what? I done looked at this Guinness World Record, and I don't think I'm gonna, break 27,000 pencils in 1 minute, but I can walk barefooted all the time." I don't know. Now he said that he had never ridden a unicycle up until he started training for this event. He traveled about 12 hours each day of his attempt. Sometimes it was hard toward the end of the day to force myself up onto the unicycle for those last few miles. He had a swollen ankle toward the end of his trip, which made each turn of the pedals feel like torture. As long as you're moving, you're pedaling, hence my ankle swelling up from overuse. Eh, sir, I want to encourage you, but you also picked unicycling across Ireland as your goal. I feel like there's a blend of supportive and what the heck, and I just can't get both of those. But I'm glad you achieved your goal, sir. I don't know why you would. And then, in decidedly not healthy news, well, someone had to make a nearly 10-foot long Gatsby sub, and this South African restaurant, they were like, "We have goals." Hashtag diabetes. Just if you get this sandwich, Doctor Now comes with it, just looking at you in disappointment. The idea came, as the nutty ones often do, over a few drinks in a bar. A South African restaurant served up a 3-meter long or 9.8-foot sandwich recently in the latest offering from the establishment with a taste for supersized food. The giant submarine sandwich produced by Anne's Ladies Bar in Cape Town follows a burger it cooked up in 2019 that weighed a whopping 124 kilograms or 273 pounds. With no less than 10 layers of fillings, I mean, this just looks like a whole lot of bad decisions and an entire bottle of Pepto. I see like salami and bologna and fried chicken for some reason and gravy. I mean, this looks like you tried to get every single meal on my 600-pound life in just one sandwich. The sandwich tipped the scale at 65.27 kilograms or 145 pounds after it was balanced precariously on a weighing machine using a tray for supports. It took over 4 hours to prepare at a cost of $160 for the ingredients, said Joe, who came up with the plan and runs the restaurant with his wife and owner, Annie. The ingredients included 6.6 pounds of tomatoes, 44 pounds of deli meat with 3 types of sliced sausage, steak, burger patties, and chicken fillets, 3 layers of French fries, and a layer of calamari for those that prefer seafood, with a generous helping of onion rings, all in the sandwich. The sauces ranged from garlic to cheese to pepper to mushroom tartare, depending on which layer. And I'll have a Diet Coke. Well, Wolfram, since it has a lettuce leaf and a couple tomatoes on it, you can call it a salad with the largest crouton ever on the bottom. Look, us fluffy people can make anything a salad. We're like, no, we put some ranch dressing on it. This is definitely a salad, ma'am. Those are loaded ranch baconator fries. Excuse you. There are potatoes, vegetable. There is cheese sauce, which is dairy. There is bacon, which is protein. I mean, and ranch dressing. I think you are confused. I am having a salad. I Y'all, I don't even know. This is a Franken sandwich from hell. It is helping me though, because I will say, I don't want French fries anymore right now. So for the win. Any hoozle, I am sending you guys off to Fraud at Wrangler. I think he is going to be exposing one of these, uh, beautiful, lovely auditors. They're like if sovereign citizens and Karens had a baby, it would be these, law auditors that have popped up with only the vaguest knowledge of, well, America having a constitution, but just the Sarah Boone levels of arrogance and determination that they are right. So if that sounds like something that is fun for you, I would encourage you to give them a check out when I send you over there. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Try to do one small thing today that will, helps you be a better person in the morning. And, if not, there's always tomorrow. We can always make small steps tomorrow too. So don't give up. And I'll be here in the morning. And, you know, that's a good thing. Anywho, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.